Imagine leaving your 8-year-old son and precocious daughter home alone for days. Now picture them rigging up a giant mousetrap to catch a raccoon, accidentally setting the house on fire. Sound like a recipe for disaster? Buckle up, because that's just one example of Homer Simpson's spectacularly bad parenting. Over the years, Homer has racked up a hall of fame, or shame, of terrible dad moments. Get ready to cringe, because we're counting down the 5 times Homer Simpson proved himself to be the absolute worst. Number 1. Leaving Bart and Lisa home alone. Ever dreamt of leaving your kids to fend for themselves? Homer Simpson did just that. Terrible idea alert. In the episode Home Alone,
oh man, when you're alone, night is scary.
Homer and Marge, desperate for a getaway, decide to attend a rodeo in Las Vegas. But with a shoestring budget, they hatch a plan worse than stealing candy from a baby. They ditch Bart, a mischievous 8-year-old, and the ever-so-responsible Lisa at home, armed with nothing but frozen dinners and a stern warning to stay put. Predictably, chaos erupts faster than you can say, Bart Simpson prank. Bored and unsupervised, Bart transforms the house into his personal war zone, launching epic and destructive attacks on their neighbor Nelson Muntz. Lisa, meanwhile, tries to maintain some semblance of order, but her efforts are quickly drowned out by Bart's mayhem. The unsupervised fun escalates to dangerous levels when Bart builds a giant mousetrap contraption to catch a pesky raccoon. Needless to say, things don't go according to plan. By the time Homer and Marge return from their Vegas adventure, they find their singed and exhausted children amidst the wreckage. Let's just say this wasn't their finest parenting moment. Homer's attempt at a fun family vacation quickly became a hilarious and terrifying case study in why leaving your kids home alone is a recipe for disaster. Number 2. Endangering the kids. Homer Simpson's love for life's finer things, namely duff and questionable entertainment, often translates into near-miss disasters for Bart and Lisa. Remember that fateful trip to the movies in Itchy and Scratchy, the movie? Ignoring the giant R rating plastered on the poster, Homer figures a cartoon movie can't be that bad, right? Wrong. The ultra-violent antics of Itchy and Scratchy leave a young Bart traumatized, riddled with nightmares filled with exploding mice and chainsaw massacres. This blatant disregard for age-appropriate content not only disrupts Bart's sleep, but also exposes him to a world of graphic violence that a developing mind shouldn't have to process. Homer's impulsive decisions can also have life-threatening consequences. Take the Duff blimp fiasco in Duffless. Blinded by his unwavering loyalty to the questionable brew, Homer decides a joyride in a stolen blimp is a perfectly reasonable idea. He even drags Bart and Lisa along for the ride, completely ignoring the potential danger. As expected, things go south quickly. The blimp careens wildly through the sky, narrowly missing buildings and crowds of people. By the time it crashes spectacularly in a field, pure luck is all that saves them from serious injury. These are just a couple of examples of how Homer's poor choices put his kids at risk, whether it's exposing them to inappropriate content or dragging them into his harebrained schemes. Homer's lack of foresight and disregard for safety paint a clear picture. Responsible parenting isn't exactly on his resume. Number 3. Neglecting their education. Homer's own struggles in the classroom translate into a rather relaxed attitude towards Bart and Lisa's education. School? More like a suggestion in the Simpson household. We see this time and again when Homer readily keeps his kids home for the most trivial reasons. Remember the donut convention in Bart Gets an F? Or the chance to witness a once-in-a-lifetime meteor shower? Schoolwork clearly takes a back seat to these once-in-a-lifetime events. This sends a strong message to Bart and Lisa. Attending school and taking your education seriously just isn't that important. Homer's disinterest extends beyond attendance. He shows little to no curiosity about his children's academic achievements. When Bart brings home a failing grade, Homer's primary concern seems to be the potential shame it reflects on him, rather than taking an interest in why Bart is struggling. This lack of support and guidance can be incredibly disheartening for a young child trying their best. Lisa, the family's intellectual powerhouse, feels equally unsupported by her father. Her academic pursuits are often met with indifference or even dismissal from Homer. He might struggle to understand a complex math problem or a historical reference. And instead of encouraging Lisa's thirst for knowledge, he might just shrug and suggest another Duff commercial marathon. This lack of support can be a major roadblock for a gifted child like Lisa. Number 4. Exposing them to inappropriate content. Homer's taste in entertainment can be generously described as questionable, and his kids often bear the brunt of his dubious choices. Remember the chaos that ensued in Bart Gets an Elephant?
Hey you, elephant! Lift me up on your back, man!
Homer impulsively buys Bart a massive elephant named Stampy, completely disregarding the logistical nightmare and potential danger it poses. Not only is caring for an elephant incredibly expensive and time-consuming, but Stampy's unpredictable nature leads to a series of near misses and property damage. This impulsive decision exposes Bart to a situation far beyond his capabilities and teaches him a skewed lesson about responsibility. Lisa, the voice of reason in the family, isn't immune to Homer's questionable choices. In Lisa's Wedding, desperate for guidance about her future, Lisa accompanies Homer to a cheesy psychic. This character, with their flamboyant attire and vague pronouncements, preys on Lisa's anxieties and feeds her a narrative of impending doom. Homer's willingness to expose Lisa to such an unprofessional and potentially harmful experience highlights his lack of judgment and disregard for her emotional well-being. Whether it's letting Bart watch ultra-violent cartoons or exposing Lisa to the world of dubious psychics, Homer's decisions consistently expose his children to content that is simply not age-appropriate. Number 5. Modeling poor behavior. Homer's own bad habits are like a flashing neon sign for Bart and Lisa, constantly reminding them of the pitfalls of poor decision-making. His love of Duff beer, gambling, and unhealthy food choices paint a picture of a man who struggles with self-control. This, in turn, can influence Bart and Lisa's own choices. Imagine the message Bart receives when he sees his dad constantly reaching for a Duff instead of a glass of water, or prioritizing a night at the casino over a family dinner. Homer's impulsive behavior and tendency to solve problems with brute force or shortcuts sends a confusing message to his kids. Remember the episode Flaming Moe. When Moe's bar concocts a new, wildly popular drink, Homer steals the recipe and tries to pass it off as his own. This not only teaches Bart a lesson in dishonesty, but also reinforces the idea that success can be achieved through shortcuts rather than hard work. Perhaps the most concerning example is Homer's fear of clowns. In Homer's phobia, he instills a crippling fear of clowns in Bart by dressing up as Krusty the Clown and terrorizing him. This not only traumatizes Bart, but also teaches him to fear harmless things through negative association. Homer's inability to manage his own anxieties and his tendency to react impulsively create a chaotic and confusing environment for his children. So there you have it, folks. The 5 times Homer Simpson proved himself to be the absolute worst. While Homer's antics are undeniably funny, they also serve as a hilarious cautionary tale about bad parenting. But hey, even the worst dads can have moments of redemption, right? Maybe we'll explore those in another video. In the meantime, let us know in the comments below. What's your favorite Homer Simpson parenting moment? And if you enjoyed this epic fail compilation, don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations of the wacky world of Springfield. We've got plenty more hilarious and sometimes cringeworthy moments from The Simpsons to dissect. Thanks for watching.